web on a farm gate, wobbling in the wind. Small bird with gold feathers singing on the yellow bush. And that was all I could find. 4? I needed 5. I climbed the high rock where Mrs. Merton had just been standing to see if I could spot something else from up there. And I did. Gulls, dozens of them, wings outspread, feathering the wind. They weren't unusual, not at Tregennis. There were gulls everywhere. But they would do, I thought. I was fed up. My hands were cold. Gulls would be my 5th. That was when I saw it. Far out to sea. And that was when I changed my mind. No one else was up there with me. Maybe no one else would have seen it, which would make it very unusual. I clambered down, found a place out of the wind, sat down and wrote it down, my number 5. And that's where Mrs. Merton found me. She was looking over my shoulder as I was writing. She asked if she could see my notebook. "Good Stanley," she said. "But you're number 5, fishing boat bobbing up and down in the waves. It's not really something from nature, is it?" I said, "No, miss, but it's unusual because it looks as if it's leaning over a lot." "What do you mean?" "The boat, miss. It's sort of leaning, like it might topple over any moment." "Show me," she said. Moments later, I was up on the top of the rock again, pointing out to sea. There it was, the fishing boat I had seen out near Ramsey Island, struggling through huge waves whipped up by wild winds and racing currents. I knew nothing about currents then, or how dangerous those waters could be. All of that came later. All I knew then was that the boat was being tossed about and couldn't seem to stay upright. Mrs. Merton stood there staring at the sea. "You said it had to be unusual, miss," I said. But she wasn't listening to me. She was already dialing on her phone. "Police!" she was shouting over the wind. "Coast Guard! Lifeboats! I am being calm. Out near the island, Ramsey Island. I am being calm. A fishing boat and it's sinking. Mrs. Merton, I'm a head teacher. I am being calm. Tregennis Farm. Hurry, please!" She hung up and turned to me. "Stanley, you were very clever to spot that boat. Let's hope we're not too late." I could not take it in at first. I knew the sea was rough, of course, and I could see the boat was rocking from side to side and leaning over. But I think I thought the boats just did that in rough seas. I was bewildered at her instant reaction, the shouting phone call, the fear and panic in her voice. I'd never seen her like this. She was blowing her whistle now, waving her arms, calling the whole class over to her, and the other teachers too. Very soon, everyone was up there with us on the rock, and she was explaining to the whole group what had happened, how observant Stanley had been, how she'd rung the emergency services, and how they'd be sending a lifeboat soon. She told us to keep our eye on the lifeboat station that we could see on the far side of the bay. And sure enough, within 10 minutes, maybe less, we saw the lifeboat come sliding down the slipway.